BetOnline is the world's most trusted source for sports betting and your number one spot for everything NFL football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Do you think you know your stuff? I bet you do. Get in on BetOnline's $200,000 Pick 5 contest. All you got to do, pick 5 games against the spread to win your chance at many different prizes and that $200,000 prize. BetOnline is the most trusted source for sports betting and your number one spot for everything football. Plus, when the game's over, head on over to BetOnline for that online casino, blackjack, poker, and over 150 different slots. Head to the website today, get in on the action, BetOnline where the game starts.
Let's get down to business. As Patrick Bateman once said, how lovely you've arrived. I want to talk about certain aspects of the new Apex program, not just for the sake of being a shill and doing an ad, but for the sake of giving some background and some understanding to the major tenets that went into creating the Apex program. And the reason why is because I think they are the fundamentals of how you are going to achieve the greatest physique you could ever dream of. A lot of it is largely decided by lifestyle habits and with diet, but there's a huge component that comes with real, reasonable, meaningful training. And most people are not going to do that, especially nowadays with the internet and social media and things like that. Why? Because distraction and decision fatigue is so extraordinarily high. Going into this in the 90s, early 2000s, when I really started to put together this passion for changing my physique and for fitness as a whole, there was no TikTok, there was no YouTube, there was no Instagram, things of that nature. So when I wanted to invest time into really understanding the iron game and diet, nutrition, things like that, I had to invest a lot of time into going to the library, going to buy books, talking to friends and acquaintances of mine who really knew what they were talking about and really gleaning that information. There's a handful of people that still in my life today, starting from 1999, 2000, Alessandro Comadina, a friend of mine, Alex Hate Fat on Instagram and the social media, professional. I think he's still a card-carrying IFBB pro, but I talked to him yesterday, getting some advice on diet and nutrition, and he's amazingly smart. So check him out too. But you start to develop understanding, and I, as anyone, am guilty of falling victim to the new trendy thing. And sometimes the new trendy thing can, add something to your life and add something to your understanding and add something to the quality of your progress. But oftentimes it doesn't. And so you have to stick with it. And because it was one of those things that's just so psychologically important to me, I was able to stick out and be resilient kind of to all the new things that came into my life that I ended up jettisoning to get to the important stuff. And the important stuff that was left over, the residual, the meaningful stuff, is what is in the program. And progressive overload is one of those things that kind of gets talked about. It's like nowadays, like really progressive people, they say fascism, but most people don't really know what that is. They just know it's really insulting to say to people. And progressive overload, most people don't really know what that is, but they say it because it's in kind of the zeitgeist right now of fitness media. But you have to stick to certain collections of exercises and then progressively get stronger in those exercises, either doing more reps or doing more weight with a very regulated type of form. Okay, because I can go and bench press my body weight, let's say. I could do 185, I could do 10 reps, off the top of my head. I could also do 15 reps 10 minutes later by jerking it and not taking a pause and stopping and bouncing off my chest. Okay. The cable pull down, for instance, is a great example because it's a great exercise. I like cable pull downs, but most people don't have any regulation to how they do cable pull downs. They'll go to one gym and that cable pull down, they'll do 150 pounds and they'll do it for 10 reps. And then 2 days later, they can go to a completely different gym with a completely different setup with different pulleys and whatnot. And they'll do 200 pounds and they'll get a little bit more momentum going into it because they had some extra caffeine. And now they're doing 20 reps with that. And they're like, I'm getting stronger. The key to progressive overload is making sure that you're regulating and there is an absolute standard to how you're doing that exercise every time. And that is the reason why I selected the exercises that I selected, because I don't really care if you get stronger on the chest press machine at your gym. I really care if you do perfect push-ups and you used to be able to do 8 and now you can do 18. You're getting stronger. If your body stays flat and you touch the ground every time you do your hand release and you do the push-up as is prescribed in the program, you're getting stronger. If you can do a chin-up, you used to be able to do 2 chin-ups with body weight. Now you can do 5 chin-ups with 25 pounds wrapped around your body, and there is a standard to how you get your head over the bar. You're getting stronger. You're going to have a better looking physique. You're going to have progression. There's that overload there. And you can just take it from me, fine. I hope you do. But here is a super smart guy that I look up to a lot. This is Brett Contreras. Most people know him as the glute guy because he's gotten so many girls to have just these amazing lower bodies. But Brett Contreras is a strength coach, and he understands physiology. And he's devoted his life to it. I believe we're kind of the same age. I'm 45 years old. I think Brett's maybe a year older than me, or it's around the same age. He's devoted his adult life to this, and he knows what he's talking about. And here he is breaking down why you need to use compound multi-joint lifts. Isolation movements are great, but they have to be kind of an adjunct. Compound multi-joint lifts and progressively get stronger at that. Here is why.
And the reason why is most people don't understand progressive overload. They go to the gym, they do the same thing over and over. They switch things around too much, and they never get good at anything. They're not placing increasing amounts of tension on the muscles. You can hit each muscle from every angle and utilize the mind-muscle connection and get a pump and feel the burn. You can sweat, you can be sore. Those things don't guarantee marked increases in muscle mass. Getting stronger at the most important big, basic compound movements almost always guarantees a better physique. And quite frankly, most people never take the time to do so. They don't put in the work. They're constantly distracted by new workouts, new programs, new workouts from their favorite influencers, new burnouts, new circuits, this booty band burnout. You know, the gym got a new machine. I'm going to try that. They'll do anything but get better at the big basics.
So I hope you understand, like, you're going to hit muscles from different angles. You're going to find a new program. You're going to find a new way of doing things. You're going to find this ultra fashionable, ultra hip technique, this new thing to train. And what do you think about density and rest pause and everything? The bottom line is, if you just cut that out of your mind and really devoted yourself to getting stronger in a core collection of exercises, you will have a better physique, way better than you ever would by constantly changing programs, constantly getting new things to invest your interest into. That is why I created the Apex program, because I wanted that for me, guys like me, other men and women who have devoted their lives and have developed some level of progress, and also for someone who's never lifted weights. I wanted them to have this program and to guide them into getting that type of progressive, meaningful overload. Okay, here's another thing. Brett Contreras can take his clients and then do squats and deadlifts. And bench press. I love those exercises. I do those exercises. But if I were to really factor in how many people need months and months of coaching on how to squat properly, let alone squat well, how to deadlift well, and how to bench press well without hurting themselves or without setting themselves back, it would be overwhelming, and it would take away from the amount of people who could get a lot out of this program. So I replaced the bench press with the incline dumbbell press and dips. I replaced the deadlift with different just had a stroke, pardon me, different glute and hamstring exercises and upper back exercises. And I replaced the squat with the Bulgarian split squat and the goblet squat. These are still in those same patterns, multi-joint compound movements that you can get a very kind of regulated, very formulaic form with. You're not going to have a lot of variety from workout to workout, from gym to gym. You go and you take an 80-pound dumbbell and you goblet squat with that. If you go full range of motion, it's going to be the same in any gym at any time of day, regardless of how you want to go about it. And you're going to be able to monitor exactly how you are progressing. There's going to be times when you are going to get stronger. There's going to be times when you're able to do another rep with it, okay? Same with the Bulgarian split squat. If you are an abject beginner, or if you're someone who is even a pretty smart intermediate, and you start to really invest the time into progressive overload with deadlifts and squats, back squats, you're going to hurt yourself at some point. There's a reason why, like Westside and different powerlifting gyms, the best in the world, they only hit the actual competitive lifts very rarely throughout their training program in preparation for a competition. Because if you invest that much effort into just grinding away at deadlifts and back squats, it's just too much overall systemic stress, and there's also too much kind of capacity for injury. So you're doing things like hyperextensions. Louis Simmons has got guys doing hyperextensions and different variations of the deadlift and different variations of the squat and the box squat so that they can highlight their ability to get stronger in the squat and the deadlift and the bench press. Why? Because those exercises, even for people who are competitive at a world-class level, are very demanding, and the chances of you hurting yourself if you're consistently going for progressive overload is very high. The Bulgarian split squat is giving you that same pattern, and it's also really building a beautiful lower body, and you can get stronger at it, and you can see yourself getting stronger at it. And if you fail, if you go too heavy, no big deal. You just drop the dumbbells. You're like, oops, okay, next time I got to go lower. And you can see your form. If your form starts to wiggle a little bit, you're very aware of that. Okay, so these are the reasons why I hammer home a small collection of multi-joint compound movements with some isolation done as an adjunct, but also I'm not doing the deadlift and the squat and the flat bench press in this program. There is plenty of ways that you will be able to get lot stronger, and you will make those manipulations to your physique in a positive way if you're committed to just getting stronger in these movements, okay? Man or woman, big or small. I'm going to sneeze. Wasn't that bad, was it? Do I have bugs? All right. Man or woman, old or young, big or small, advanced or beginner. This is a program where you can commit to these exercises and commit to progressive overload, getting stronger, and you're going to make the manipulations to your physique that you're looking for. All right? So check it out. It's available exclusively at Train Heroic. I will put a link in the show notes below, and you can always join up with my Patreon. It's still there for you if you want to be a top-tier client, because then I can also help you with nutrition. And in this crazy mixed-up world that makes you think that nobody cares, remember, I do. Be good.